Hello guys, it's Ethan here, and as you can tell, we are doing Star Deck Profile.
With a different setup this time.
Yes, we have a new stand, so if it works, let us know. If it doesn't, also let us know. But it's a worth a try at least. So, first we have Stellar Deity Asterius as our buddy. Everyone knows that I like big monsters as buddies, and obviously this is the original star that made the combo able to happen, and the best one for it, because obviously your star monsters come on left and right can't be destroyed. So that's why it's my buddy, and also anime, so that's also why I have my buddy. Next, we'll go on to monsters, size zeros. 4. Stellar Deity Star Asterius. Colossal Deity of Phantom Star Asterius. If it's on at the beginning main phase, if there's a star on left or right, draw a card and deal damage. This card doesn't have to be on the left or right, it could also be middle for it to affect. It's effective mandatory, but basically this is the main part of your combo that you want to set off. Put this to the side so I can show you. I'm sure everyone knows it, but I'll have it up best. Next we have 4.
You had one job!
Valkyrie All-Knowing Know-It-All. And the cards with Great Spell, its card name can't be notified if that's not the one that you run, because the card you run does have Great Spell. What you use it for is when this card is discarded from hand, you gauge and draw. You put the card on your deck into your gauge and you draw. It's the best card because we have a lot of discarding in this deck, so why not plus off it? Because paying a gauge for Sophia and then just instantly getting that back and also an extra draw after you've searched your deck is always good. Next we have 2 Leo Star Sentinel Leon. If your buddy monster is a star, reduce the size of it by 1, so it's size 0 essentially. And counteract if you have another star on the field, you put it into drop zone and place it in the drop zone, not destroy it. So you put it into the drop zone and you gauge 2. So it's really good for that. So basically it's counter gauge and it also stops on attack. So if your opponent attacks it, you can use its skill to pop and gain 2, gauge 2, and then it stops on attack. Only run 2 because gauge isn't needed that much nowadays with the new cards. Then so we run 3 Reginald Orion. This is also a good start. These are both good buddy options, but I've gone with Asterius just because I like it. Reginald Orion, size 1, fee 1, 2, discard up to 2 stars from your hand if you do draw that equal to the number. So you can discard 1 to draw 1, or discard 2 to draw 2. It's once per turn. Not named? Yeah, not named. So if you have 2 on the field, you can discard up to 4 to draw 4. Obviously, as long as your opponent don't kill it. Next, 4 of an also pretty good buddy option, Sophia. Mysterious Fortune Teller Sophia. 4/2/1. Only 2 crit, that's what matters in this deck. Size 1. Pay a gauge to call it. Every monster that this card attacks has its abilities nullified. And this ability can't be nullified, so in star matchups this effect's always nullified. When it enters, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, switch your deck to 1 card with set spell and add it to your hand. So any card with set spell, including Sharpness Field and stuff, you can search for. So even though you side in 4 of it anyway, say Sharpness Field for example, you're still going to run for this just so you can always see it. So you've got 8 copies of it basically. It's like the reason why you run 3 grass looks greener and 3 left arm offering in Yu-Gi-Oh! For example. You want to see it, so you run as many copies as possible to see it often. So you run 4 of that. Next, buddy, 4 of 6/6 size 2, star on left and right can't be destroyed for 2 gauge. It's pretty good. Next, 4 of the Impact, Asterius Birthday of Wind and Stars. 7/2/7, 2 gauge and put a star monster from your field into drop zone. Same effect as Asterius, but it also, at the beginning of your main phase, if you have a star on your left and right, you draw a card and gain a life. So basically, the setup you want to have is just those 2 on left and right, and anything in center or any weapon. So basically, at the beginning of every turn, you gauge, you draw 2 cards and gain a life and deal damage. So your opponent is essentially on a timer to see if they can win. If not, then you just win through stalling and decking and just burning. Next we play 3 Shield of Knowledge Church of Iberion. This could have go to 4, but so far I've only got it at 3. Choose a star on your field during this turn, next time it will be destroyed, prevent it from leaving the field, and if there's a star on left or right you gauge. So it's pretty good. Next, 3 Starfall Knight. Counter call a size 1 or less star from your drop zone by paying its core cost. You may only do it on your opponent's turn, so it's good to stop an attack, because if your opponent attacks, say, this card in center, you can cast this to then call, say, another one out, and then since that card's destroyed, there's no attack. The attack stops because there's no target. So it's basically another nullify in the deck. That's a 3 of. Next, Symbol Guard. And 6 of life or less, draw 2 for a gauge, but you can pay no gauge for it if there's Brethren Guard in drop zone. We don't main Brethren Guard, but it's a sideboard, so it's still good. Good card anyway, even if you have to pay the gauge. Next, 4 Great Fate Frozen Stars. This is what makes the deck, obviously, because this is the deck card. 2 gauge, star left and right, nullify everything on your opponent's field and in the soul. Basically it. So your opponent can only do stuff that activates in drop zone or in hand. So then there isn't much of cards that activate in drop zone, so that's literally it. Abilities can't be nullified with this card, so in the mirror match, it's just basically vanilla. Both players are playing vanilla decks. You're just swinging, hoping that something goes through. So as long as you don't go up against the mirror match, you're fine. You can only set one of it on your field, so hope that's why you play Vibrion to protect it from destruction. Next, one of our other nullifies. Light of Guidance, discard a card, gauge and nullify put the damage to 0. We run Aridol, so why not run this card to reduce damage and gauge and draw? Gauge 2 and draw, sorry. Next, Force Corner Gremlin, nullify the attack if it's not a link attack. Everything in this deck has got low defense. Why wouldn't you run this? Because it just stops any attack. Cause people are usually not going to link attack the center of star cards just because it's so low attack. Next, our item, which is, let's say, different compared to silver decks. I've seen a lot of other decks run either the crossbow, the bow and arrow that from the first set of stars, or the sword that came from the dual wood stuff. I run Give Me a Staff. Pay gauge and life. It's a 0/0 item. Pay gauge and life to equip it. We may rest once per turn. You may rest it to gauge top card of your deck. Oh, that's actually not once per turn. So if you can have a way of standing it, you can activate that effect as many times as you want as you can. Rest it, gauge top card deck into gauge, and you may discard a card from your hand once per turn to draw a card. So if it's sitting on your field and not doing out, say you've got it, say first turn, gauge and life, equip this, use its skill, discard Aerodol, gauge and draw, you draw a card from this skill, say that, and then you gauge and then say draw another card. So just from paying a gauge and life, for basically only paying a life and discarding a card, you gauge 2 and gain a card. So you're basically only paying like 1 life to get this all for free. That's why I like it, and it also boosts obviously the gauge because it's paid for himself. 1 gauge to call it, and then you just rest it to get that gauge set it back, which is perfect when the combo is basically 4 gauge, if not 6 if you're going into the Impact Astrius. But that has been the Star deck profile. Make sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and obviously if you like this setup or just this in general, let me know. And this is the first version of the deck, so expect updates on this deck profile because obviously testing needs to happen. I've only tested it in 1 game against Mummies, so well, 2 games against Mummies. I won both times, but that's not what matters. I still need to do more testing, so we'll see. Anyway, that is it. So bye bye.